Welcome back to another video on complex analysis. Here we'll discuss how to evaluate improper integrals using Cauchy residue theorem. Particularly, we'll look at the integrals of the form minus infinity to plus infinity f x dx. Let us first recall how we have evaluated these kinds of integral in calculus. It is generally written as sum of two integrals minus infinity to 0 f x dx plus 0 to infinity f x dx, which is equal to limit s tends to infinity minus s to 0 f x dx plus limit r tends to infinity 0 to r f x dx. Now, if these two limits exist finitely, then we say the integral is convergent. So, if limit s tends to minus infinity or s tends to infinity minus s to 0 x dx and limit r tends to infinity 0 to r f x dx exist finitely, then this integral converges. Otherwise, diverges. Now, if we take s equal to r, then we get what is called Cauchy's principal value of this integral, and it is denoted by PV of minus infinity to plus infinity f x dx, that is equal to limit r tends to infinity minus r to plus r f x dx. Let it be equation 2 and this equation 1. So it is Cauchy's principal value. Now, the existence of this limit does not imply the existence of this integral. For example, if we take fx equal to x, we'll see, and if we apply expression 1 to evaluate this, we'll get limit s tends to infinity x square by 2 from minus s to 0 plus limit r tends to infinity x square by 2 from 0 to r. So here we can see as s tends to infinity, this limit tends to minus infinity and this limit tends to infinity. So which is undefined, minus infinity plus infinity is undefined. So this integral is divergent. So this limit does not exist. So we can see this integral is divergent. Now, if we take the Cauchy's principal value of this integral, so PV of minus infinity to plus infinity x dx. So from expression 2, we are getting limit r tends to infinity, it is x square by 2 from minus r to plus r. So which is equal to r square by 2 minus of r square by 2, so it is 0. So which is 0, that means it is a finite value. So Cauchy's principal value exists finitely, although the integral is divergent. So here we have the result. If Cauchy's principal value of this integral exists finitely, then that does not imply the integral converges. That means to get a general result regarding the existence of this kind of integral, we have to allow S and R to vary independently. So here also we are getting, if minus infinity to plus infinity fx dx converges, then it is equal to the Cauchy's principal value. Let us go into the evaluation of this integral by Cauchy residue theorem. Here first we need to select the function fz depending on the given function fx. Now before going into the procedure, we require certain assumptions. That says fz is analytic on C except for finite number of poles. Now the function fz must be a rational function. That means fz can be written as pz by qz, where pz and qz are polynomials of degree m and m plus n for n greater or equal to 2, and fz has no poles on the real axis. Equivalently, we can say qz has no zero on real axis, and qz has at least one zero in the upper half plane. Now, if these assumptions are true, then we can go for this technique. So in the first step, step 1, we need to select the function fz depending on the given function fx. And step 2 is to find the singularities of the function fz in the upper half plane. Next, the path of the integral is minus infinity to plus infinity, that means real axis. And here we want to apply Cauchy residue theorem, so we require a closed Jordan curve. So the third step is to take a semicircular curve given by this. So here we'll take a semicircular curve. So from minus r to plus r, and so this is the curve C, which consists of C1 and C2. So C is C1 plus C2, where C1 is the line joining minus r to plus r, and C2 is the upper half part of a circle with center 0 and radius r. So which is equal to, here we can write z theta, z is equal to r e power I theta, where theta varies from 0 to pi. So this is a circle, C2 is a circle with center 0 and radius r. Now suppose z1, z2, zk are the singularities at the poles of fz that are situated in the interior of C. Then if we apply Cauchy residue theorem, so by Cauchy residue theorem we have integral over C fz dz is equal to 2 pi I times sum of all residues of the function f at the point zk. or k equal to 1 to n. So now this integral can be written as integral over c1 fz dz plus integral over c2 fz dz. So that is equal to 2 pi I times sum of all residues of the function f at the point zk for k equal to 1 to n. So from this step we can write minus r2 plus r fx dx, because here we are integrating along the curve c1, which is a part of real axis from minus r2 plus r, where the y coordinate is 0, plus integral over c2 is dz, that is equal to 2 pi I times sum of residues of f at the point zk for k equal to 1 to n. Now if we take limit as r tends to infinity, we'll get equal to limit r tends to infinity 2 pi I times sum of all residues minus limit r tends to infinity integral over c2 fz dz. Now according to the definition of Cauchy's principal value, here we are getting this equal to the principal value of minus infinity to plus infinity fx dx, which is equal to this sum of all residues minus, here we are integrating along C2, which is a circle with center 0 and radius r. So z equal to r e power I theta, where theta varies from 0 to pi. So dz equal to I r e power I theta d theta. So from here we are getting is from 0 to pi f of r e power I theta and r I e power I theta d theta. So our next step is to find the value of limit r tends to infinity 0 to pi f of r e power I theta into r I e power I theta d theta. Now we'll see how to evaluate the contribution of this part in the following example. So let us take this integral. So here the function fx is given as 1 by 1 plus x square whole square. So here we'll select fz as 1 by 1 plus z square whole square, which is a rational function. Ratio of pz and qz. Here pz is a constant 1 and qz is a polynomial of degree 4. Now to see the singularities of the function fz, so we'll equate this to 0 for singularities of fz. 1 plus z square whole square is equated to 0. From here we are getting 1 plus z plus I whole square, z minus I whole square equal to 0. So the values of z are I and minus I. So the singularities of fz are z equal to I and minus I. But here we have only one singularity which is situated in the upper half plane. So we'll consider only z equal to I. Only z equal to I lies in the upper half plane. So now our task is to construct a Jordan curve, a closed Jordan curve. So here we'll take a semicircular region minus R2 plus R with center 0 and radius R. So it is C1 and C2. The curve is C, which consists of C1 and C2. And the singularity I is situated over here. So if we apply Cauchy residue theorem, then we'll get, by Cauchy residue theorem, integral over C fz dz is equal to 2 pi I times residue of f at the point I, because there is only one singularity which is inside the IC. So the singularity I is belonging to the interior of C. So here first we need to determine the residue of the function f at I. Now z equal to I is a pole of order 2. So we can find the residue of f at I as limit z tends to I 1 by 1 factorial ddz of z minus I whole square into fz, that is 1 by z plus I whole square z minus I whole square, because if z0 is a pole of order m, then residue of f at z0 is given by limit z tends to z0 1 by m minus 1 factorial dm minus 1 dz m minus 1 z minus z0 power m into fz. Here the value of m is equal to 2, so we are getting this expression. So if we simplify, then we'll get z tends to I, so it is 1 factorial, this cancels out and we are getting ddz of 1 by z plus I whole square, so which is equal to limit z tends to I minus of 2 by z plus I whole cube. So from here we are getting the residue as minus of 2 by 8 minus of 8I. So that is equal to 1 by 4I. Now let it be expression 1. So from this expression, we can write integral over C f z dz is equal to 2 pi I times residue of f at the point I is 1 by 4I. So it is 1 by 4I, that is equal to pi by 2. Now this can be written as integral over minus r2 plus r dx by 1 plus x square whole square plus integral over c2 dz by 1 plus z square whole square, which is equal to pi by 2. So here we can see, if we take limit as r tends to infinity, we are getting minus r2 plus r dx by 1 plus x square whole square, which is equal to pi by 2 minus of limit r tends to infinity integral over c2 dz by 1 plus z square whole square. So we have to find the contribution of this part. Now to find the contribution of this part, we'll utilize ML inequality, which is also known as basic inequality, that says if gamma be a rectifiable curve, that is of finite length, and fz is continuous on gamma, and mod of fz is less than or equal to m on gamma, then mod of integral over gamma fz dz is less than or equal to m into L gamma, where L gamma represents the length of the curve gamma. Now we are integrating along C2. On C2, mod z is equal to R. Now if we apply triangle inequality, then we'll get 1 plus z square, which is greater or equal to 1 minus of mod z square. So from here we can write 1 by 1 minus of mod z square is greater than or equal to 1 by 1 plus z square. So here we can see 1 by 1 plus z square whole square is less than or equal to 1 minus of mod z square whole square. Now on C2, mod z is equal to R. So here we can write this as mod of 1 minus R square whole square. So here we are getting on C2, mod of fz is less than or equal to m, where m is equal to 1 by 1 minus R square whole square. Now the length of the curve C2 is equal to pi r. So using ML inequality, we can see integral over C2 fz dz is less than or equal to m into L, that is equal to pi r by 1 minus of r square whole square. So now if we take limit r tends to infinity, mod of integral over C2 dz by 1 plus z square whole square, then it is less than or equal to limit r tends to infinity pi r by 1 minus r square whole square, which is equal to 0. So we are getting the principal value of minus infinity to infinity dx by 1 plus x square whole square as equal to pi by 2 plus 0, that is equal to pi by 2 minus of 0, that is equal to pi by 2. Now here we have a result that says if fx is even function and the Cauchy's principal value of this integral exists finitely, then the integral minus infinity to plus infinity fx dx converges, and minus infinity to plus infinity fx dx is equal to the Cauchy's principal value of this integral. Now in the given problem we have fx equal to 1 by 1 plus x square whole square. Now if we replace x by minus x over here, we'll get 1 plus x square whole square, which is the function itself. So here we can see fx is even. So using this result, we can write minus infinity to plus infinity dx by 1 plus x square whole square equal to the Cauchy's principal value of this integral, which is equal to pi by 2. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, then please like and subscribe my channel.